Hare Krishna and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bhagavatam Mirror, episode 27. And I'm using a new computer with a new webcam. I guess I look a little bit like an octopus, so nobody can escape. And yeah, we are reading. Don't be afraid. We are just reading from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And before that, as usual, a short Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava. Oh, wrong tune. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Jaya Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayat Nashta Prayeshva Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyutama Shloke Bhaktya Bhavati Naishtiki. So today also it is the appearance day of Madhva Acharya, Srila Madhva Acharya. He was one of the great acharyas. Actually, he is connected with our sampradaya. Our sampradaya is technically or theologically called the Brahma Gaudiya Madhva, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Madhva is included in our sampradaya that comes from Brahma. So there are many, many stories connected with Srila Madhva Acharya. He lived around 1,000 years ago. And so today, it is his appearance day. And interestingly, he said that all the Vedic scriptures in Kali Yuga, there are some corruptions. Some people, they wrote something in, for instance, in the Mahabharata or in other Vedic scriptures, in the Puranas, they wrote something, some own ideas. So you are not 100% sure if you really read for instance, the Mahabharata that was composed by Srila Vyasadeva 5,000 years ago. However, Madhva Acharya, he said that there are two scriptures where we don't have to be afraid that they are corrupted. Two scriptures. We can be absolutely sure that they are pure, that no one later came and scratched something out or filled something in, his own ideas. And these two scriptures are the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahabhagavat Purana, and the Bhagavad-gita. These two scriptures are totally authorized. And so when you read something strange in the one or the other Hindu scripture, then when you feel this is somehow strange, how can this happen, or this is morally absurd, you cannot do that, then compare it with the teachings derived from the Bhagavad-gita, as it is by commented by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, of course, because there are so many Bhagavad-gita editions. You of course need an authorized edition of the Bhagavad-gita. So you can compare it with the teaching of the Bhagavad-gita and with the teaching of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So if there is some incompatibility, then you know better take some distance to that passage of whatever scripture you are reading, because then it might be that this scripture at this particular spot is corrupted. So therefore we try to read every day from the Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Srimad Bhagavatam is also called the Amala Purana, the pure, unalterated Purana, that one which is totally absent of materialistic ideas and impurities. So today we are reading, we continue with the story of Pingala in the 11th canto. It is chapter 8. And we are reading today verse 30. And in this verse, for the first time, we hear this Lady Pingala, who happened to be a prostitute, but simultaneously she is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So for the first time we hear her speaking. So that might be very interesting. So therefore, please listen carefully. The Sanskrit goes like Pingalo vacha aho me mohavidatum pashyatu vichitatmanaha ya kantat asata kamam kamaye yena valisha. So I take my Kindle version because the letters are bigger. 1 second. So I don't need my glasses. Translation. I am such a fool that I have given up the service of that person who, being eternally situated within my heart, is actually most dear to me. That most dear one is the Lord of the universe, who is the bestower of real love and happiness and the source of all prosperity. Although he is in my own heart, I have completely neglected him. Instead, I have ignorantly served insignificant men who can never satisfy my real desires and who have simply brought me unhappiness, fear, anxiety, lamentation, and illusion. Purport. Pingala laments that she chose to serve most sinful, useless men. She falsely thought they would bring her happiness and neglected to serve the actual Lord of the heart, Krishna. She could understand how foolishly she had struggled for money, not knowing that the Supreme Lord is always inclined to award prosperity to his sincere devotees. Oops. The prostitute was proud of her ability to please man, but she now laments that she did not try to please the Supreme Lord by loving service. The Supreme Lord is completely aloof from the transactions of the material world. Lord Krishna is the actual enjoyer of everyone and everything, but one must learn how to please the Lord by pure devotional service. Again, the verse. I am such a fool. I have given up the service of that person who, being eternally situated within my heart, is actually most dear to me. That most dear one is the Lord of the universe, who is the bestower of real love and happiness and the source of all prosperity. Although he is in my own heart, I have completely neglected him. Instead, I have ignorantly served insignificant men who can never satisfy my real desires and who have simply brought me unhappiness, fear, anxiety, lamentation, and illusion. So we know from the previous verses that this prostitute Pingala, she lived in a city called Videha a long time ago, and at this particular night she was waiting for her customers. She dressed herself very attractively and decorated herself very beautifully, but somehow this evening no man came by and wanted to accept her service as a prostitute. So this went on for hours and hours, and she became very anxious. Or this man might be the one who is helping me or wants to get my service. But then that person passed by, and then she thought, but maybe the other one, he looks very rich. Maybe he is the guy who wants to accept my service. So this went on for many, many hours. And at the end, she became very morose and kind of frustrated. But then in this particular phase of time, she thought at one point, anyway, this is the situation, what can we do? And she became indifferent and detached. And she realized that, oh, what I am doing here, I'm trying to satisfy insignificant, useless, even sinful men who are just looking for sexual service. They only want to exploit me. I get some money, that's true, but this has nothing to do with love. And actually, I am actually an eternal loving servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I have forgotten my eternal relationship to him. So this prostitute became aware in this particular phase of time, and she started to lament in a prayerful mood, and we can learn from her prayers, because although we might not be prostitutes, we might think, oh, I have a very nice profession, very respectable profession, but actually most of us in this material world, we have the same problem. We are totally absorbed in our daily activities of our job, of our profession, of our family affairs, and we forget our eternal relationship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what we can learn here, and therefore this prostitute Pingala is counted as one of the 9 gurus we can learn from. First, we learn from many different gurus from Mother Nature, like the ocean or the moth or the bee, the honeybee, and finally at the end, the 9th guru is a prostitute. Very interestingly. So we can even learn from a prostitute if she is a devotee of Lord Krishna. So we can understand here that even prostitutes can be devotees of Lord Krishna. That is possible. So therefore, let us try to remember Krishna as often as possible for today, the appearance day of Srila Madhva Acharya, and we might do so many things today in our profession or within our family affairs, but still we should try to remember Krishna as far as possible in every second. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Next one.